This is the Violent Professional Podcast brought to you by AriesClothing.com.
Oh yes, it's the Violent Professional Podcast. I'm right in my element, baby. Right in my fucking element. I'm here to fucking party with you guys. I know it's only one of us right now, partying on YouTube, partying on fucking SoundCloud, partying on fucking Spotify, partying all over the fucking airwaves. As long as the airwaves are on the internet. I think I said airways first. I don't know. You'll be able to tell. You'll be like, what the fuck did he just say? What did he just say? I gotta sit here and tell you, we got a new sponsor, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited about this, indeed. Very excited indeed. Now, let me just tell you about this new sponsor. It is a CBD sponsor, and I'm very excited about this as a sponsor because it was the first CBD I ever tried. If you haven't tried CBD, what the fuck are you waiting for? Are you getting drug tests or something? There are CBD options out there that have nothing to do with THC. There's no hallucinogenics in this thing. There's no fucking THC. There's no getting high. There's no popping hot on a fucking drug test. CBD is amazing, and it's helped me immensely in my life. Much like many of you, I have had anxiety. God, I can't even speak right now. I've had anxiety in my life. It's plagues me to this day. I don't have anxiety right now. I've had about 5 Colorado Kool-Aids, so this podcast may be a shit show, but right now I definitely don't have anxiety. That's a fucking fact. I feel great, and it's not because CBD, but I do believe in CBD, and I take it for myself. I don't take it all the time. There's a lot of people that need it all of the time, but for me, I use it when I need it, and usually when I haven't had it for a while. My anxiety, the stress of life, it fucking kicks me right in the teeth. And so if things get too heavy for me, or I get a little angry, or I start to get a little bit stressed out at dumb shit, which happens, and I'm sure it happens with you, or it has happened with you, or it's going to happen with you, CBD is a nice option. Now, I'm not a doctor, as you could probably guess, but I do have experience with CBD, and the sponsor I'm going to talk about right now is the first CBD I ever tried, which is fucking great. This CBD brand is called Oleo. At least that's how I say it. Nobody's ever told me how to say it. I just read the package and it said Oleo. O-L-E-O. So what Oleo is, it's a CBD drink mix. You pour it in to any sort of beverage. They have flavorless. They've got iced teas. They've got this orange tangerine drink mix that I thoroughly enjoy. I thoroughly enjoy it. You may not know this about me, but I kind of like drinks that taste like orange. And I'm not talking orange juice. I get energy drinks that have a little bit of tinge of orange on it, a little bit of mandarin. Get that nice little pep in my step, so to speak. But let me read some stuff to you, so I'm not just flapping my gums and you think I'm full of shit. All right, so our new sponsor is Oleo, like you heard me say. Oleo is a CBD drink mix. It can be easily added to anything and rapidly dissolves in water. You pour it in, spin a little spoon or a fork or put it in a shaker, put it with your pre-workout, put it with your fucking beer. Who knows? You put it in anything. But I like to mix it in water. They got the coconut water. You mix this packet in regular water, it turns into coconut water. It's very nice on a hot summer day. These drink mixes are designed to help you maintain an active and healthy lifestyle. They're a perfect addition to your pre-workout protein shake or post-workout recovery drink. There's potent absorption. I keep popping this mic, man. I don't like that. I gotta put it to the side. It's got potent absorption. Oleo is 2 times more bioaccessible than other CBD products, you know? Bioaccessibility. It's what we're all talking about. It's not like you didn't just hear that first time ever. There's no bitter aftertaste, which is important to me. I don't like bitter aftertaste. That's why I don't like beer that's bitter, and I talk shit about people that do. It comes in, odorless. I would hope that my drink came in odorless variation, but Oleo comes in both flavorless and delicious flavored blends. I told you before about the Mandarin. Man, that Mandarin iced tea that they have, that is some good stuff. I'm not even talking shit right now. I love it. The way I like to do it, because these packets will do 12 ounces, which is that's what it's suggested, but I like to go about half that, 6 ounces. I pour that powder in there. It's a nice sweet drink. CBD gets in my body. It says, stop freaking out. And so I do about 20 to 30 minutes later. One of the best things about it is because I've talked about, doing edibles and shit like that. Smoking weed, stuff like that. But I don't really fuck around with getting high too much. So that's one of the things that when I talk about that stuff, people don't understand. I actually don't like getting high. So what Oleo does is it just has the cannabidiol, the CBD, and there's no high feeling because there's absolutely no THC in it. And for some people, they might think that's the best part. Well, you're missing the point of what actual CBD is for. You have receptors in your body that are designed specifically, and I don't know who designed them. Maybe God. Maybe somebody, maybe some alien somewhere that implanted its DNA here on Earth. But you do have receptors. And they just figured this shit out in a laboratory somewhere. But you have CBD receptors. And then you take CBD and it makes you feel good. Oleo is non-intoxicating and triple tested. So you know exactly what's inside. I mean, they got a label. It's like what are you missing here? There's nothing hidden. So, if you want to try it out, if you want to try out CBD, I would highly suggest, and this isn't me just fucking getting somebody who sponsors the podcast and, I want to promote them. Mainly, I don't have sponsors I don't believe in. So, if you want to start getting into CBD or you're scared or whatever for whatever reason, because it is, people think marijuana, CBD, THC, all that stuff, they get a little bit weird about it. I was too. I'll admit that. I was weird about it because I didn't understand it. But let me give you a little bit of background about it. I was having a particularly heinous day when it came to anxiety and just stress and, of my business stuff. And I was ready to just unlatch hell from my body and take over the earth and start burning everything down. And I was so angry over something that happened with my business. And it wasn't anything that was so bad. It was just my anxiety and my stress level had been building up over time to that very moment to when something fucking trivial happened. And it was enough to send me over the edge. And if you're like me, you probably have had situations like that where you look back and you're like, man, that was fucking stupid. Why did I explode over something so dumb? Why did the cat shit in my tuna casserole and I fucking exploded? Well, there's a good answer for that. If a cat's up on the fucking counter, you gotta kick that cat out. First off, shouldn't have a cat. Shouldn't have a fucking cat. But if you do and it shits in your tuna casserole, it's perfectly acceptable. That's not an issue you want to use CBD for. You just have a fucking cat that likes to shit in tuna casserole. But other things like the daily grind or that somebody said, hey man, when you're at your fucking day job and he's like, hey man, could I get 2 quarter pounders with cheese? And then you're like, God damn all these fucking people. Well, that's more of an issue for CBD. And you're just like me, where you hate people and you just don't want to see them, and somebody orders some shit at a place that you work at. Your normal day-to-day life duties, and you're getting too stressed out and you're fucking snapping at customers. Snapping at them, taking a little snappy at them. And they're like, damn, he's fucking angry. Take CBD for that. But the cat issue, you just get rid of that cat. I don't know why you have a cat. I don't know why you have a cat. I've told you 15 times, don't get a cat. Yeah, the cat issue, shit in the tuna casserole, not for CBD. Just it's your life choices. That's pretty much what that boils down to. But CBD will help you in your anxiety that's caused by all of your life choices. And I would suggest Oleo because I believe in it. And that's a fact because it was, again, the first CBD I ever tried when I was like, no, I don't want to try it. I'm not a fucking dirty hippie. I tried Oleo when it was like, what the fuck else? You know, like, I'm so fucking stressed out. What the fuck harm could it do? And I took it. It was a delightful drink. I had the coconut water packet. You know, it's like powder. It's like these little packets you dump in water or something like that. And it's fucking good. You know, the coconut water is good. I like the mandarin tea, like I said. But if you want to try it out, you can go to violentprofessional.com, click on the sponsors tab we have on there, and then tap the Oleo link. And when you're there, and you're picking up I think they got a 2-for-1 deal right now. But when you're there picking up your fucking CBD, use code VIOPRO10. And then you get 10% off your order. And then, by doing that, you support this podcast. And I know you guys like it. You're back here listening for some reason. I mean, what I would think is that you're like, oh, it's him by himself. I'm not going to listen to that episode. He's going to talk about chicken wings or some food. I actually, when I was building this episode up, I was writing down in pencil because I couldn't find a fucking pen in the fucking studio, which is weird because I usually have like fucking a bucket full of them. I thought like I haven't written in pencil in fucking forever. Like, who's writing in pencil? This fucking, if you're looking on YouTube, there's no eraser in this thing. So it's kind of like I'm just, I start writing and the only thing I could do is scratch it out. So I was like, hey, just writing down whatever, and I'm going to talk about it. So I'm doing this episode. It's kind of weird because I don't really have a plan for this episode. I came into the studio today, and I was like, I'm going to record something because I've had plenty of people request new episodes. And they're like, hey, man, why don't you do more? They're fucking awesome. And to me, it's like I got other shit going on, and I want to do as many as I can, but there's so much shit going on that I just don't have fucking time. And and personally, it's like maybe me being insecure, but I don't feel like, me doing it by myself is the correct way. I have this idea of what it should be, but I think like anything, when I drop my insecurities about shit, then things go well. If I'm just me and I'm being authentic, then things go well, and I should do it. I should, when there's when I don't have guests or I don't have Mark or I don't have people on, I should get on there. I shouldn't feel bad. Like, I've had a lot of, people hitting me up and saying they like, I expect that they would like the episodes where me and Mark are fucking riffing back and forth. Sorry, I'm burping. But people actually like the episodes that I do as well. So, it just proves that you guys will listen to anything. So I'll just keep that up. I'll just do episodes, as much as I can. I want to give you guys a good service, which is a podcast. I want you guys to fucking enjoy this. And because it's more than just me making fucking content or whatever. Like, and speaking of content, have you seen some of my content lately? Have you seen some of my content, lady? It's fucking fire as shit. I'm proud of that stuff. I'm proud of some of the fucking memes and GIFs. Oh, speaking of GIFs, have you seen the Violent Professional GIFs on fucking social media? I've got a ton of GIFs on there. Oddly enough, I've attempted to get an account where I could make GIFs and then they would be on Instagram, but I've never been approved. I've attempted 3 times, never been approved until now. So literally within the last week, I've been approved for GIFs. So any GIFs I make and any GIFs anybody makes, they've got to go through the fucking the approval process, and then they're just inputted into Instagram. So I think right now there's 13 approved as I'm recording this episode, and then I've got a whole bunch more that I'm just waiting for approval. I've been taking clips from episodes or like the little promos I made, like the 1980s thing, the 1980s promo videos or the dating clips, and making GIFs, just all the videos that we put together. I've been making GIFs, and it's a lot of fun. So like if you go on Instagram and you type in Violent Professional or Task Dev or Vio Pro, some of the GIFs will come up. I try to, basically how it works is you make these like little tiny videos. So I'll take a video that I make on YouTube or something like that, or like a highlighted clip or something that people remember from any of the episodes, and I'll fucking make like a 5-second video. And then I upload that into the website, and then, you know, add whatever fucking text or whatnot, and then it turns into a GIF, and then it's uploaded into Instagram a few hours later. So I've had some really dope GIFs on there. So go check it out if you want to. It only works when you're like DMing, as far as I know. Like you're DMing on Instagram. Like I had somebody hit me up and say like, why doesn't it work on fucking iMessenger? I'm like, I didn't fucking apply for that. Plus, iMessenger is stupid as shit. You should have an Android. What are you, one of those conformist motherfuckers that likes to get something that you can only get a special cord with? You gotta buy the Apple cord. You gotta buy the new iPhone because it's gonna kill your battery after the new iPhone comes out. Get out of here with that shit. I got a lot of people that are like pro Apple or fucking iPhone. I'm like, are you fucking retarded? You fucking retarded? So go on, if you're on Instagram, you can use it. I don't know if Facebook, I didn't check that shit out. But all those I'm putting in GIFs every single day. I'm going to make, after I make this YouTube video, I may say something in it. I don't know what I'm going to say, but I may say something that is like funny or I think is cool or whatever. Which doesn't happen that much. I think all my shit's dumb. Saw a video I made the other day and I was like cringing every time I talked. I was like, God, shut the fuck up. And it was like me. So I make, I make GIFs out of any videos. So you may see some new ones. There are going to be new ones all the time. It's actually really fun to make it. And if you have ideas for GIFs or you want to contribute GIFs, just let me know and fucking hit me up. DM me on any of the social media platforms, including YouTube right here. You're like, hey, this would be a good clip or this would be a good GIF. Hit me up. I may even fucking have people start making GIFs, submitting them, and then giving you a little bit of kickback because I think the GIFs are fucking dope. I want to cover Instagram with GIFs. Cover them with GIFs. GIFs galore. So yesterday, decided to get out of fucking town because I don't know if you know this. I'm in Washington. I live in Washington, and I live in the specific cancerous area known as the Olympia. Just next to it, I live in a town called Lacey. Work in a town called Olympia. The governor of Olympia is here. I don't really like him. I don't really like him in one bit. I voted for anybody. I voted for anybody in the fucking Washington State primaries right now. Anybody but him. There was about 1,000 fucking candidates, and I was like, man, literally on the ballot, there's a dude called Good Space Guy. I was tempted to vote for him just to get anybody in there. I think a lot of people are going to vote for that dude just because his fucking name. It's funny, I went on YouTube, I was like, who the fuck is Good Space Guy? Like, how is he on the fucking ballot? You go type in YouTube and you type in Good Space Guy all together, like Good Space Guy, comes up and he's like, they're like, okay, what's your position as the governor of Washington? He's like, I'm going to build an orbital space station around the fucking world. And it's like, sold, I'm voting for him. I believe in a modern day space wars space station. I think we should fucking just do it. Can't get any crazier. Let's vote for Good Space Guy. Fuck it. My problem with Good Space Guy is I lean towards libertarian, which is basically, in a nutshell, I don't give a fuck what you do. Don't fuck with me. I won't fuck with you. I'm a poet. I didn't know it. But basically, that's, in a nutshell, that's what being a libertarian is. It's like anybody can do anything they want in their own house and don't fucking tell me about it, and I don't want this big of a government. Get rid of a bunch of government assets. I don't want to pay as much tax as I do. Maintain the military. Need to defend the country. Maintain the police force. Don't tax me unreasonably. Don't pay my IRS taxes because the IRS won't exist. I won't have to pay fucking income tax. But also, it's basically like if you want to go and do something crazy, like snort heroin through your butthole, which I don't know how that's possible because technically, I don't think you could snort through your butthole, but you could fucking fart out heroin in somebody's mouth. If you want to go do that, if you want to fart heroin out of your butthole into somebody's mouth, that's what being a libertarian's about. The problem with fucking libertarianism or fucking the candidates that we have, which is a very great idea if you think about it. Do you like paying taxes? Oh, no. Were you going to say yes? Then this isn't the fucking podcast for you. I don't think any of us like paying taxes. I'm just going to go out on a limb and take a guess. And I also think that probably if you're watching this, you don't like the government as big as it is. You probably also think that fucking, no matter if you like who's the president right now, you probably think the Republicans and Democrats are fucking assholes. And if you do, you're probably a fucking libertarian. You probably want to have personal property and not have anybody, including police or anybody, tell you if you can fucking plant a fucking farm on your place. You know, in Washington, you can't fucking collect rainwater. That seems ridiculous. If you're a libertarian, you can fucking do that. Nobody can tell you can't. That's why I fucking like it. I just want to be as free as fucking possible. It's the freest fucking political party there is. And luckily, it's gaining traction. But there's people like Good Space Guy that are fucking libertarian candidates, which fucks it up for us. Because I don't believe for 1 second a fucking dude who wants to be the governor of Washington State has a plan for a fucking orbital space station around the world is going to ever become president. And the reason he picked Good Space Guy as his name is because, as he says, Space Guy was taken. Well, you didn't have to fucking choose Space Guy at all, motherfucker. You could just put your fucking name on the ballot and be a libertarian. Just stop being crazy. Then the other fucking libertarian candidates we have is fucking, for the presidency of the United States, is Vermin Supreme. Dude wears a boot on his head. And again, you're fucking it up for the rest of us that just don't like big government and we don't want to be taxed. I don't want to fucking work my ass off to give 30% to the fucking government. I don't want to pay the IRS just to exist. Like, that's what the fucking IRS is. It's a taxation to fucking exist. Like, what the fuck? I mean, it does other things too, but I don't really want to take my income tax, or I don't want to take the fucking money that I earned working so hard to pay to a fucking organization that didn't work for it. I can't stand that shit. It drives me fucking bonkers. Ah! But anyway, I have this list of things that I don't even remember what I was talking about. So, myself, Mark, and David, I started talking about, like, getting out of town. And this is where it went. 20 minutes later, myself, David, and Marcus, we went out of town, and we went to Mount Rainier, which is right in the state. You can see it everywhere. It's this giant volcano in the middle of Washington. You could see it fucking from miles and miles away. Like, I could go outside of fucking any building in this entire fucking area. You know, I'm at a fucking Walmart, or I'm at a fucking, a fucking Asian foot massage place. Not that I go there, but I could be outside of one of those places and just like, God damn, my feet hurt. Need to get a massage for my feet. Turns out my feet are on my cock. But anyway, after I'm done getting my foot massage, I go outside and I'm like, oh, that's a beautiful mountain. Look at the mountain. It's a dormant volcano. It's a volcano. And it's funny when people come over here because they're like, look at that fucking mountain. Hey, I'm from New York and I got relatives that come out and they're like, hey, it's that fucking mountain. What the fuck's the mountain doing there? It's bigger than the other mountains. You can't even see the other mountains because the fucking tall ass pine trees. And I'm like, that's not a mountain. It's a fucking volcano. So technically it is a mountain, but it's not going to blow up anytime soon. We went out to Mount Rainier and we got to take some content for a company that has sponsored, or not sponsored, but sent Mark some products for our nonprofit that we have, TASDev, at TASDev on Instagram. We do veteran transition services where we do skydiving and shit. If you haven't heard about it, what are you waiting for? TASKDEV on Instagram, and also TASDev.org. But they sent Mark a tent to go do a review on. And so we did a review. We went out of town, went to Rainier where there was snow. It's a winter tent. So we went up to the fucking mountain. It was a lot of fun. We had a great time. Took some content, took some pictures. You've probably seen them on social media if you're on there, if you follow us on there. If you don't follow us on there, I don't know how the fuck you found this fucking podcast. It's super weird. You're a fucking vampire. You just know things. I don't know. We went on the mountain and then we're like, we did our thing and then packed our shit up, took some video, took some pictures, packed our shit up, walked down the fucking quarter-mile stretch. Maybe it was a mile. I don't know. It was pretty far out there. Got back to the vehicle, and then we're like, hey, let's go check out this trail that goes up to this fucking cliff that overhangs over this fucking valley. Like, and if you walk too far, you will die. So we're like, let's go fucking check that out. Because it's like this sheer face cliff that goes back and down, and you can go to the edge, and people take pictures there and shit. And so, Mark jams in the fucking coordinates into the fucking thing, and the Google Maps were all fucked up. Go figure. So the point of that is don't trust Google Maps. You don't want to, it was like we got to the place, and it was like the trailhead's over here based on the map, but then you got to walk through this section. Here's a dotted line. Stop here. Stop here. Your destination is on the right. It misled us because it said basically we could go on this trail and then walk up and we'll be right there. It was like a straight line. And I was like, I don't think that's it. And the trailhead was like around a fucking hairpin turn. Go figure. I was like, fuck it, let's do it. There's no way that this could be wrong. So anyway, we go on this trail and we're walking for about fucking 2 miles. And then where we should have been going up, we started going down towards this lake. Beautiful lake. Beautiful lake. It would have been great. Let's continue on and go hang out by the lake. But we were on a mission to go to the top of this fucking thing, and as we went down, it got like fucking way higher. Damn. If you're on YouTube, you see me smash that fucking light. Dumb as fuck. I can't control my body. So it was disappointing. It's disappointing, especially because I was just hungover when we did it, and I didn't want to go on that trip anyway, and I was like, fuck it. I ain't no bitch. I'll fucking walk on this fucking trail. I don't give a fuck how hungover I am, even though we went to Mount Rainier. We didn't walk that far, but I was like, let's go on this trail. Fuck it, I'll go 5 miles. So we got about 2.5 miles in, and then we turned around. And it was not fun. It was not fun whatsoever. But myself and David, we were like, let's go get some fucking barbecue. And then we walked, we walked back to the truck, got in the vehicles, went back, and we were just starving at this point. Because I literally woke up hungover like from 4 hours ago. Went to Mount Rainier, no food, no breakfast. I mean, we stopped at McDonald's, but I got like fucking McMuffin or some shit. And I was just fucking shitty. Just absolutely shitty. And we finally get to this barbecue place, and like, what I'm like, obviously like this time, like there's a lot of places that are talking about masks and whatever. And if you've heard me talk about it, I don't believe any of this shit anymore. I think it's all about control. I don't think all the stats are fucked up. I don't think it actually exists anymore. I don't think that people are getting it. I think they're just saying people are getting it, which is crazy because the internet exists and social media exists, and you can get if you lie about anything these days, you get called out, and it doesn't matter where you are. It's like if you lie about the fact that you like fucking lasagna or some shit, it's like, I know somebody out there that doesn't like you would be like, I know for a fact you don't like lasagna. In fact, you didn't fucking eat it when I offered it to you during my fucking quinceañera. I don't know what a quinceañera is. I think it's like some fucking thing for 13-year-old people or whatever. But like, I don't fucking believe any of it anymore. I don't believe any of it anymore. I only wear a mask out because people won't let me go get shit. Like, that's the only reason. Our governor of the fucking state of Washington, I don't even call him my governor. He's just the governor of the fucking democratic socialist state experiment of fucking Washington. It's like he literally said, like, if you don't comply, it will take longer for businesses to open. Like, it's like, what fucking science is that? What the fuck are you talking about? We can get kids back at school as soon as everybody wears masks. Like, you're holding it over. Are you holding us hostage in this fucking state? If you leave Washington State, you have to self-quarantine 14 days. Fuck you. How about that? I'm not going to fucking do shit. Because I crossed this imaginary fucking line from Washington to Idaho, as soon as I get back, I got to quarantine. You know what Idaho's doing? They're saying, come on over here. We don't give a fuck about any of that shit happening. You like freedom? Come here. It's one of the freest fucking states in the union. Truth. Fuck, dude. There's a lot of states that are not free. You think you're free, and they're like, I'm originally from New York, and it like literally, I looked at what are the freest states, because right now I'm planning my future. And I'm like, where am I moving? And one of the questions I asked the Google box was, what is the freest fucking state in the entire union? And it came up with a list of 50 fucking states. Go figure. New York was number 50, and it's been number 50 for the past 10 years. So I'm like, yep, I got family there. Not moving back. That's not cool. And it's funny because I was just back a few months ago before all the corona shit. Last year, like around October or some shit. And it doesn't feel like it's not free, but when it comes to living there, it's a very different thing. It's a beautiful state. Like upstate New York is fucking beautiful and you can do whatever you want, like go outdoors activities. But in terms of like gun ownership, self-defense, living your life, owning a business, they pay a ridiculous amount of state tax on their fucking, on their annual tax reporting. Like, so I was looking at a lot of things and Washington State ranks 36, which doesn't seem bad, but when it breaks everything down, it's really bad. Like there's some good things about Washington State, like outdoors, but then it's like everything else. It's like gun rights are actually really good here. That's the one good thing. The self-defense laws in your house, not anywhere else, right? But you can open carry here, which I don't suggest because you look like a fucking lunatic. There's like, but you can do it here. You can pretty much get whatever you want. And, somebody's probably yelling right now. It's like, you don't even fucking know the half of it. I don't know the half of it. I just know that gun laws are a little bit more lenient than other places. Like New York, don't even fucking consider getting a pistol. Like, don't even fucking consider it. You're pretty lucky if you got one. But considering where I'm moving in fucking Washington State is 36 out of 50, it's not really great. It's not great. It's not the worst. It's not 50, but it's not great. As far as business goes, it ranks absolutely the worst, the bottom 10. It's the worst, highest taxation in the entire union for business. This is what I've been talking about forever. I read that fucking article. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. They're absolutely up your ass. They fucking, I can't even describe it because it makes me so angry. But yeah, it's a good state for many things, but way more many things. It's absolutely the most fucking armpit of fucking everything. So don't move to Washington. And yeah, so I got off on a tangent there, but really we went to get barbecue on our way out in this place in this town called Yelm, and it's really good barbecue. But as soon as you get there, there's signs everywhere plastered all over that says mandatory mask, Jay Inslee, blah, 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 blah. There's fucking, you need a mask and blah, blah. And I was like, oh, that's a suggestion. We just walked in knowing full well it wasn't a suggestion. And we're sitting there, we're like at the line and they don't say anything. But as soon as we go to order, like, you guys got masks? And they're like yelling at us or whatever. Kind of heightened, tone of voice. Wouldn't say yelling. I'd say heightened tone of voice. So I have a mask on me in my pocket, but I just have it in case somebody says some shit. And then David went out and got a mask for him and Mark, and then we put them on and we fucking, order our shit, and we're sitting there. And what's fucking dumb as shit is that you can sit there at the fucking table and have your mask off and eat your food and fucking laugh and fucking blah, 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 and you're like 6 feet away and fucking touching everything, and they're not sanitizing shit, and you're just like, it's almost comical. Like, what the fuck is even happening? There's this fucking disease that dies in sunlight. They figured it out. Immediately it dies in sunlight. They know that it doesn't fucking transmit now by fucking surfaces, which is what they said, but it does transfer airborne, and they want you to fucking sit in a place where you're eating food and talking to your friends without your mask. And you would think, like, it's like, if this was real, and this was the thing I fucking said to the dudes, I'm like, if this was real, you think there would be something about, like, you can't go to this fucking food establishment because it's a food establishment and somebody in there caught it and they're coughing all over the food and they're fucking, it's like, that never happened the whole fucking time. Now, maybe there's an instance where it did happen and they had to shut down a restaurant. But it's like that doesn't happen. They allow you to take your mask off, whereas everywhere else, like a place you're not even near anybody, you have to wear a mask to come in. They fucking flag you down. They're like, you have to wear a mask or get out. But then a place where it's so sensitive, like you're going to be fucking coughing in a fucking restaurant, in a goddamn KFC, getting your fucking 5-piece chicken fucking nuggets of fingers. You know, you think you would have more of a fucking infection rate from a place like fast food, but you haven't had one. There's no I haven't seen anything on the news that said fast food is spreading COVID. We need to shut down fast food. Fast food stays open. Oh, because it's essential. Yeah, but even though it's essential, wouldn't it still spread the shit and kill people? It's fucking fake. Can we fucking say that yet? It's fucking fake. You know, maybe I'm spreading falsehoods and fucking giving people hope that it's fake, but this is what I personally believe. I think it's a fucking fear mechanism, much like religion has been. Because everybody acts like it's a religion now, or it's political. And I'm sitting here in the middle, not giving a fuck about the left or right, and I'm like, you all are crazy. You know, you look at who's actually pushing it, what side's fucking pushing this shit, what side is fucking saying like, oh, it's fake. You're all a bunch of fucking crazies. I don't trust either side of you. I'm talking about Republican or Democrat. I don't trust any of them. If you identify with Republican or Democrat and you're fucking pushing a narrative, I don't believe you. You know, in the beginning when we didn't know what the fuck it was, okay, wash your hands, put on a mask when you go out, stay away from people, socially distance. Remember that time? Remember that time very recently when we couldn't fucking go outside? Well, now they just fucking said that it's coming back and everybody's fearful and driving around in cars with masks on. It's even worse than before. What the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? Oi. You know, I don't like people. I want to move away from everybody and fucking homestead and fucking do that shit. Run my business. Fucking put a nice little shop on a plot of land. Podcast. Aries. Keep my fucking shit going. I do not want to be in this fucking society. I do not want to be in fucking Washington. And I'm going to get a couple comments that are like, well, why don't you move? It's like, there are reasons I can't fucking move right now. And I'm not going to get into them, but there's just reasons I can't fucking move. And it's frustrating because, you know, I'm one of those people that I used to be very like impulsive and like, I want to do this now. And so I do it. And it's like, it put me in a lot of bad situations in the past. So now I'm all about like strategery. I'm going to fucking plan my shit out. I'm going to fucking execute it as it comes. And if things change, if I have different ideas, I'm going to fucking go with those. But right now I just can't fucking move. And I'm not mad about it. It's just I can't fucking move out of here. And that's the frustrating part. It's frustrating. But I'm happy that I get to be with my son every day. I just am frustrated that I can't grab everyone up that I care about and say, let's all go to fucking Tennessee. Or let's all go to Idaho. We're going to go to fucking Montana. We're going to go to Wyoming, near Claremont, Wyoming, the home of the fucking Order of the Light Protectors. We're going to fucking go there, and we're going to get a bunch of Connex houses built up. We're going to own a plot of land. We're going to fucking build a Connex compound, a Connex commune, and we're going to fucking sit there and make farms and fucking be happy and merry. Party like goddamn Vikings in the middle of fucking Wyoming where the buffalo roam and the fucking jackalope love to play. But we're not going to fucking deal with government. That's what I'm saying. I want to fucking live that life. Live in old age and then die in a fiery explosion when I was fucking shot out of a fucking cannon. Because I'm 90 years old and my bones are real fragile. And no 90-year-old should be shot out of a cannon. But I will, goddammit, in Wyoming when I build my Connex compound. Connex commune. Oi. So I think I've gone on so many tangents, I don't even know where I was. So we were like, let me look at the notes. I don't know if you've seen some of my Instagram posts. I'm going to there's no segues. I'm not driving around segues. But have you seen some of my Instagram posts where I'm talking about vegetables? I love the vegetables. It's multiple syllables. But recently I was like, I'm gonna plant some shit. And so I went to fucking Lowe's and I was like, they got a bunch of seed packets. I can fucking, Instead of spreading my own seed on some fucking shirts or towels before I take a shower every day, I'm going to buy a packet of seeds and I'm going to fucking plant that shit in the dirt. Plant the seeds in the dirt. Maybe make a little fucking tomato plant, you know. Maybe make a little bit of zucchini. Maybe make a little bit of fucking eggplant, your favorite fucking plant there is. It's both an egg and a plant. It's fucking science. Egg, plant. They wouldn't call it that unless it was a fucking chicken egg that you put in the ground and it sprouts this beautiful fucking purple hue. Take a bite of that eggplant, let the juices run down my chin. Get the plums. You know, I plant some plums and let it fucking bite it. I planted some fucking a cherry bush. I planted a fucking blueberry thing, a blueberry bush, and when I bought it, it was like, this blueberry bush is $100, marked down to $5, and I walked up to the fucking thing with a basket full of bushes, and they were like, this doesn't seem right. Why is this bush fucking $5? It was originally $100. They're like, they had to call the manager over, and she was like, it's $5. And they were like, really? They're like, it's not coming up in the system. She goes, have you looked at it? It was completely fucking dead. It's completely looks like a fucking tumbleweed. It's like, and I looked at it. I was there with my son and we're like, let's get this blueberries. Fuck yeah. I'll pick some fresh blueberries, pop them in my mouth. And he goes, this doesn't look like it's alive. And I was like, fuck it. It's $5. I didn't say fuck it. I don't actually swear around my son. You know how I have a potty mouth? I actually don't swear that much around my son. The only time I swear is if I get angry at something and I let it slip out, but I don't actually. It's weird. It's weird. I'm going to be honest because I'm a fucking sail. My mouth is a sail. It's like a sailor's mouth. I nonstop say fucking and tits and ass and shit all the time around my friends and everything. But for some reason, I can mentally turn it off like that. And around my son, it's not that I'm like, well, I don't want him to ever know there's bad words or potty words. I just don't like swearing around him. And it's like this mental switch that I had. You know, it takes 20 days to create a habit. I've never, I can't say never. I've sworn around him, but I try not to swear, best of my ability, and I can switch off that side of my language in a fucking instant. So, yeah, it was funny because we're checking out and my son Jackson said, like, that thing doesn't look like it's going to have blueberries on it. He's 9 years old and he knows, you know, he's a very clever kid. So he looks at that and he's like, this is a brown plant. There's no green on it. Like the leaves are falling off of it. Good luck, Dad. So anyway, we get up there. The fucking manager makes fun of me. And then I bring it back and plant it at my house, and it's starting to turn green. Go figure. I got this green thumb. Didn't know it. Didn't look green. Guess I have one. The metaphorical green thumb. Never seen one before. It's just something that dumb people say. You got a green thumb. What the fuck does that mean? You're pushing in fucking seeds into the dirt with your fucking green ass thumb? You got gangrene, son. You got to get to the doctor. Your thumb's green. You green thumbing ass bitch. Cut that shit off. Nobody's supposed to have a green thumb. You wearing fake gold on that thumb? So yeah, I live in this fucking community that's got the HOA. You might have heard that episode, but I figured I might as well build a little garden in the back. Get some blueberries, strawberries, eggplant, zucchini. I got all that shit back there. I got a fucking bounty of glorious fucking sustenance back there. It's not that much, but maybe it will fucking sustain me for a little bit. I could think it could sustain me for a fucking week, honestly, with the bounty that I have. It's probably more bounty than you have. I'm not talking about the quicker picker upper. I'm talking about the bounty of sustenance, motherfucker. So, I got these vegetables, and fruits. I got fruits, vegetables, and I'm gonna eat that shit. I got a jalapeno pepper plant. You got one of those? You got a fucking jalapeno pepper plant? Guess what? I do. I got a jalapeno pepper plant. Didn't have fucking jalapenos. I had some flowers, but I looked out there today. I got one little tiny jalapeno. It looks like a goddamn clit. That's how fucking small that shit is. But I could tell that it's spicy. You know, got that spicy jalapeno. Jalapenos in my belly soon. It's growing real fast. Didn't use Miracle Grow. I used the Miracle of Water. It's everywhere. Growing those jalapenos, those strawberries, that zucchini. I might even combine all of them. I'll just blend that whole fucking thing up. I'm not even going to pick them. I'm just going to throw that shit in a blender, in a fucking juicer, and make it into puree and be like, this shit tastes like shit. What a waste of fucking 3 months of my life. So, I'm doing all this because it's in preparation for my future of getting the fuck out of communities and people and just being self-sufficient, because I want to move to somewhere where I can hunt animals, get my own meat, get my own vegetables, get my own fruits, and not fucking deal with population unless I have to. Live that American dream, Again, I'm not riding a Segway, but I am going to say that we got a spike ball tournament coming up between me and my bros, and it's going to be me and Mark on a team. This glorious mane you see on YouTube or any video that you've seen is going to go bye-bye after that spike ball tournament. Let me tell you what's happening. Mark already grew his hair out a little bit. He's got a fucking mullet. He's got a mustache. He's got the double M fucking penetration skills. M and M. And I'm not talking about candy. Even though his mustache is dandy, he's got the fucking mullet and mustache. So we figured we're going to go 80s style on this shit. And myself and Mark, we're going to go, which is clever if you think about it. Myself and Mark, my name's Mike, his name's Mark. We got the M&M, mullet, mustache. We're going to go out there and just fucking beat the shit out of the competition. We got a few competitors for spike ball. If you don't know what spike ball is, it's fucking round net. That's what the kids call it on the street. It's like volleyball. It's a little tiny volleyball. It's shaped and fucking looks like a volleyball. It's got the same fucking lines and everything, but it's a net that goes on the ground. It's got little legs and shit, and you fucking spike it. You can get 3 hits each team, and then you have to spike it just like volleyball. You don't have to spike it in volleyball, but you can hit it over. You got three hits per team each volley, I guess is what you call it. It's interesting. If you've never seen spike ball, you don't know what it is, go on YouTube and type professional spike ball. It'll blow your fucking mind. That hand-eye coordination is fucking crazy. For real. Is our hand-eye coordination going to be like that? Absolutely not. It's going to be a shit show. But what it's going to be is a fucking YouTube video with ESPN-like highlights that I'm going to put on there for you guys to enjoy. So we're doing a spike ball tournament just for funsies because the coronavirus stuff, the whole stages of doing shit with your people, you're not going to get arrested for it. We're going to go do a spike ball tournament. We try to do something with our nonprofit each year that is get everybody from the nonprofit together. We're going to do some stuff. We did, Ultimate Frisbee last year, and we were like, let's do that again. And then people were like, let's do something else. And so we were going to do the Task Dev Olympics. And I suggested we do spike ball, cornhole, and then slip and slide with your costume on. That's the other thing I didn't talk about. You got to have a costume. So with the 80s thing, the mullet and the mustache, I'm growing mine out right now. I shaved it. I get a little bit itchy when I grow my stuff out, so I keep it clean or shorn. I keep myself shorn. Try to at least. So I'm growing my stuff out right now, and then I'll shave a mullet. I'll just shave the sides, cut the top off, look at spiky. I'll look like fucking Rod Stewart. Bless his heart. Look like a young Rod Stewart. And then after that, I'll get a real haircut, and then I'll be back to normal. This is the longest I've grown my hair ever. It's crazy. It's driving me insane. So that's what we're doing. Spike ball tournament coming up August 1st. Should be a good time. And all of us suck at it, so it's going to be pretty comical. So I hope you enjoy. If we actually get video, if it doesn't fuck up and I go like, oh, I never hit record, and it actually goes, then we should have some good content. So I'm looking forward to that, and I hope you are too. We'll put the video out there. We'll have a podcast on it. We'll have live commentary. It'll be fucking great. So that'll be another feature for you on YouTube there. Yeah. And in closing, because I like to keep it at about an hour, we're at 52 minutes. I'm looking on the screen right now. I like to keep it at about an hour because I don't think that many of you can stand me talking very much and doing my little fucking fake accents and shit. I just want to say, a few things. One of which is we've been talking about a lot of rabbit holes lately, and I want to develop a t-shirt to talk about that. So I've got some ideas. So look out for some of the new merch that's going to drop. We got new stickers on the website. Go to violentprofessional.com. There's a merch store on there. And you can get some of the designs on there. It's all like, usually I make the t-shirt designs based on what we talk about. So there's going to be a rabbit holes t-shirt put on there soon. I just got to design it. Also, if you have any suggestions for an upcoming podcast road trip, I know a lot of people, it's like one of our most watched videos that we had was the podcast road trip video, and then like really high listened episode as well. It's, we were talking about history and what we saw on the podcast road trip. If you have any ideas for where we should go during the next podcast road trip, which is going to happen sometimes near the end of August, which is coming up next month, we're going to be hitting up Oregon. One of the dudes, David, said he wants to go to Southeast Oregon. But if you're from Oregon, you're listening to this episode, we got a lot of listeners in Portland. If you have some ideas like that we could go check out, we want to stay away from the main areas. Like we want to probably stay away from Portland. There's, but we will go there. If you want to grab a drink or something like that, you want to fucking tell us, you want to hang out, fucking hit us up. We're going to go down there and see, on the way, we're going to see Logan from Core Concepts. We're going to hang out with him. We're going to fucking, probably record an episode and make it a good time. We were supposed to do that actually the last time. We were supposed to go down to Oregon, but we didn't. We went to Northeast Washington and then out tour in Idaho, and we were near Montana, and then we made it back. But if you have suggestions, you're from Oregon, hit us up and let us know. Where we should go, something interesting to check out. We're gonna focus on abandoned stuff. That's what's interesting for all of us. That's the one common thing we all love is abandoned stuff, and it's funny because we didn't even know that we all like it. So that's cool. I'm gonna rattle off some names. So some of our patrons, if I can get this shit to work, because I want to say thank you to them. And so hopefully I can get this up. If not, I'm sorry, patrons. But let me fucking work on this for a second and still talk. Where are the patrons? View all recent. Dang it. I'm fucking failing, dude. I'm fucking failing. I'll put it at the I'll put it in the comments. I want to say thank you to all the fucking patrons of our Patreon page. We've got almost 20 patrons. They're helping us grow this podcast. They're the reason we got the new SM7B microphones. The quality of the podcast has increased because of them. And essentially, if you don't know about Patreon, it's a website or a company where you can go and we're on there, patreon.com/violentprofessional. And, you can sponsor the podcast, and it's almost like you're a company sponsoring the podcast, like the advertisements I talk about and helping us grow in that regard. You can do a pledge. It's kind of like a pledge thing, and you can do $1 and you can do up to $50 pledge. And there's different tier levels for every different kind of donation or pledge that you put out there. You get different perks, and different content that you see on social media or content you see on social media but enhanced and increased. Like I'll put bloopers and shit like that on there, or I'll put different kinds of fucking videos. Like on social media you'll see a certain video and then I'll alter it for Patreon, a longer version, like I did with, if you remember, let me use for example the nachos video I made. Well, there's a much longer version on Patreon. So examples like that. Also, like I'm recording this episode now and I'm going to fucking edit it right afterwards. And then I'm going to upload it and schedule it for a certain time. This one will air about a week from now, or a little bit over a week. But patrons get it immediately so they can consume it as they want. And there's some weeks where we record 4 episodes and I'll drop all 4, or there'll be like some weeks where I record 1 and they get it. I'll record 1 on a Monday where there's an episode dropping. They'll get it a week early. It's stuff like that. So, and then you get discounts on like merchandise from different places, like our partners, or like, like from ariesclothing.com. Deep discounts, like 50% off or some shit. That's like a coupon code that works all the time. And by sponsoring the podcast, I give you kickbacks like in that regard. So, and also like when we do stuff, like I have ideas, I'll pitch it to patrons. And then they go like, yeah, like they put their suggestions in. So it's cool stuff like that. You have more of an input by sponsoring the podcast and helping us grow. And again, really reason we've grown so far is because of patrons. So thank you, patrons. I'm sorry I don't have your names. I was going to spit them out, but I thought my phone would have told me that, and it just didn't. So I can't gain access to who the patrons are. Yeah, and with that, thanks for watching this episode or listening to this episode. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and hit thumbs up on fucking whatever platform you're listening on, especially YouTube. Go subscribe if you're on whatever platform, and give us a comment. Tell us what you thought about it. Tell us what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it. You know, every comment, every like, every subscription that people hit the buttons or the bell notification, it helps us understand what you guys want to hear about. Obviously, I'm the main driving factor behind this whole thing, but I want to know what you guys want to hear. I'll still give you a little bit of me, but I'll fucking tailor it to what you guys want. Because I'm just kind of running this shit, especially when it's me alone. And with that, kids, I want to say thank you very much for listening to this episode. I want you to go check out coreconceptsus.com. Use code VIOPRO for 10% off all their Kydex merchandise and training. Go to ariesclothing.com. Use code VIOPRO for 15% of all of the shit on there. This is the prime sponsor of this podcast. Go check out Strikeforce Energy to get all jazzed up on that hot fucking juicy fucking drink enhancer, and use code Evil Vibes when you're there for 20% off. I know there's a lot of codes, but maybe you could fucking rewind or pause it and then fucking start that section over. But when you go to strikeforceenergy.com, use code Evil Vibes all together, you get 20% off and you get free shipping over $35. And then if you want, you could do a subscription, and then every single fucking month it just comes to your house and you're like, well, that's cool. You know, you go to your mailbox and there's new Strikeforce. You can do it as quick as, you can set up your delivery time once every week, 15 times every week, once every month. I do it every month. I get a pump bottle sent to my house. And it's great because I don't have to think about it. I'll drink some energy drinks, but it's great to wake up in the morning and just go get a glass of water and go boop, boop. And it's buy all my coffee shit and everything. And I don't have to think about it. It's just easy to wake up and first thing in the morning, pump that bottle. I have the subscription as well. It gives me the same fucking deal as you guys. And then the money comes back as, the kickbacks they give us go back to support the podcast as well. So that works great. And obviously, new sponsor, go check out Oleo. It's CBD product. It's a drink mix. You can put it in your Strikeforce. You can combine that shit. And it's weird because CBD will bring you down, but then the fucking Strikeforce will bring you up. It'll be fucking like uppers and downers. You don't want none of this shit. Go check out Oleo. Buy some stuff from them. At least try them. They got small packs. They got fucking big packs, and they got powders and shit like that. You mix it with any drink. CBD. You have CBD receptors in your body. Helps you out. Kicks the fucking stress, kicks all the bullshit. What I say about it is it's not a miracle drug. It's not like it is a miracle drug in a sense that once you take it, you'll understand. But it's not an overwhelming sense of like, holy fuck. It's not like a drug. It's not like the experience you'd get on full up THC. But what it does is take the edge off of life. It takes the edge off of life. And that's all I really need. And it helps a lot of people with inflammation and a lot of other shit. So it's a great fucking product. You can't really go wrong with a lot of the CBDs. But what I suggest is Oleo. And not just because I'm fucking promoting it on this fucking podcast. So if you want to try it out, go to violentprofessional.com, our website. click the sponsors tab, so violentprofessional.com/sponsors, and you tap the Oleo logo, and it brings you right to the fucking page. You don't have to think about it because you're already on the podcast website. You're looking at merch and all that shit, and then you pick up some Oleo, and you try it out. You can get a 6-pack, and then if you don't like it, you just say fuck it and don't do it again. While you're there, use code VIOPRO10. You get 10% off your order, and they ship it right to you fast, even during these trying times of the COVID-19 bullshit virus. Now, I talked in nauseum about Patreon, but if you want to support fucking the podcast more than you already do just by listening, because you do support the podcast just by listening, just by being somebody who listens and downloads the episode, because that's the thing I just found out about a few weeks ago. Click download, click subscribe, all that shit if you're listening and you like the podcast. But you could support us in greater depth by going to patreon.com/violentprofessional. You could search it on there. You don't have to know to type in /violentprofessional. Just go to patreon.com, type in violentprofessional. You get right there. We're the only one on there. Much like every social media, we're the only fucking violent professional, unless there's a bunch of fucking copiers. But, yeah, you go on there, you can get all the episodes early, get all the secret content I don't put out to the world, have discussions directly with me, give suggestions, alter and shape the destiny of the Violent Professional podcast, and have greater input than, say, somebody who just listens to the podcast. And with that, kids, thank you for listening. I want to say thank you again for being a fucking listener of the podcast. I appreciate everything you do. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. If you like this episode, please consider subscribing to us on Patreon by visiting patreon.com/violentprofessional. By subscribing, you have access to all the episodes as soon as we upload, as well as bonus content that you can't see anywhere else. You can also support us by simply giving us a positive rating on your listening platform of choice. And above all, thank you for the continued support of the Violent Professional Podcast.